See if everything's working. Okay. Looks like everything's working to me. So, what do we got? Another day of Orktober. Pretty awesome. And I continue my march on Mantic stuff. Specifically Kings of War and this time deadzone. So I've got some orc or orc adjacent things for both to work on today, which should be pretty fun. So first off, I think we're gonna take a look at the boss for the Marauders. So these, I was planning on just fully painting the Marauders on the channel, but I was kind of seeing if I could get them done in time to do a game this weekend. But it looks like my Orktober is going to conclude with a game of deadzone. And that will be the last stream we do for Orktober. So yeah, pretty darn cool. I'm up to these kind of like bluish jumpsuits and black gear. And then like woodland camo armor. And I actually painted greenskins green for the first time ever. So that's pretty cool. I must never do that. I think these are actually literally like the first ones I've done besides in recent memory. So yeah, they're pretty cool models. I painted them to be kind of reminiscent of I had this like British SAS figure as a kid. And that's kind of what I painted them as. So they had these like blue jumpsuits and like black like assault vests, and then I think he had like woodland camo knee pads or something really weird like that. And I think that's why I kind of put these colors together. But I think it works and looks interesting, and they're way different from any other orcs I have, which is cool. Not that the other orcs I have are bad, it's just they're what is the word? They're like themed like the war boys from Mad Max. So it's fun to do like a different kind of pattern and colors and stuff for orcs. Wonk. So yeah. They're pretty cool with all their tactical gear and stuff. They're pretty cool models too, really. So for like $30, you get 10 of these. You get 2 resin dog bombs, robot hound things that are cool as shit. They're super fucking cool. And you get a resin boss. So that's pretty darn cool. And the models here are pretty great. They have a lot of cool like detail and stuff on their gear and webbing. Some of the detail is a little soft and blends in like along the sides of the bodies, which is a little strange. So I put some more pouches and grenades and stuff on most of them. So you see like this guy has a sheath for his knife that I added. But I put some of that on, like you can see it a little bit there on the side of this guy's boot, for example. So yeah, so some of those details are a little soft. Similarly on the face, I feel like the front of every face is a little soft. That guy actually has a really bad seam line on his face. I should take that off. But yeah, I feel like some of the details are a little soft, which really lets them down, unfortunately. Because they're pretty cool models besides that. They're pretty darn cool. So kind of a shame that some of the details is soft in spots. Because really they're super dope. And this is the boss. He's kind of dressed like M. Bison, to be honest. So I wasn't super sure what I was gonna do with him, but I figured we would play around with it today and see what we could do. So he has like an officer's uniform, then he has like arm armor on like parts of his arms, like you can, and then like on his arm there, and then like on his shins, and then he has like epaulets and a cloak cape thing. Well, it doesn't go over the head, so it's like a cape. It's really weird. Very weird model. But interesting nonetheless. So figure out how to paint him. And the other thing we're going to work on then, maybe we'll actually do this guy first. I kind of feel like painting goblins. Is the goblin leader from the War in the Hold starter set where he's like shooting his Hadouken. So I had this guy on a scenic base, and then I pulled him off of it so I could paint him a little bit easier because it was hard to paint him on the scenic base. So yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll work on him first, so I have more of a clear idea of what I want for this little gobbo. To be honest, and I have way less a clear idea of what I want to do with that orc boss. Because the orc boss is a cool model. He just doesn't really like match the aesthetic of the dudes covered in gear. You know what I mean? So that's a little weird. Like, he'd make a lot of sense for like an army, right? Like if you had a whole army of marauders, this guy would make a lot of sense. But since he came in like the deadzone set, I don't know. He doesn't like make a ton of sense to me, I guess. Alright. So I've got some of the gobbos done. So I've been showing these guys off pretty much every stream for the last couple streams because they're all done. But I think they illustrate what I want to do with the gobbos pretty well. And then I've got a couple ranks of these guys done. Because to be honest, last week was so busy, I basically did not get to do any painting all week. So I've got a couple ranks of these guys. So wow. With all their spears. I had a bunch of their spears like pointing down so they could form like a phalanx, but honestly I think kind of like up-ish looks more horde and mob-ish, and I like that better. So yeah. And they just fit like that to make a full regiment. Whoa, they can move along the table and murder. So pretty happy with the gobbos. I think they're also a really nice contrast to the hobbits that I did. That aren't hobbits, they're halflings. I think they're like visually a nice contrast because these guys are kind of like dirty with the brass colors and stuff. So I think when the two forces are marching at each other across the table, it'll look really good. So anyway, let's start on our buddy here, our little gobbo boss. So first up, I'm going to break out Abomination Gore. This is the color I'm using for the red skin. It's kind of like a brownish sort of red. I've had it forever because I actually thought it was a technical paint, but it's not. And I like this because it's got a little bit of brown in it, but because I've had it forever, it's also a color I've just honestly never used. And every time I do an army, I like to have like a unique color that's kind of unique to them. I think that's pretty cool and ends up looking really nice. So the red here is going to be unique to these goblins and the ogres and all that kind of stuff, but this is going to be their like quote unquote unique color. I also like doing this because conceptually it helps me tie models together. Like if I want to use models with the same army, so for example like the ogres that I have, right, like I'll probably use them with these goblins so they're the same kind of red. So alright, does our friend here have boots on, or does he have shoes? He's got shoes. Okay, he's got big gloves on. Are they open finger gloves or are they just full gloves? Because I would like another bit of red on him somewhere. They look... Just because whenever you're painting, you want to make sure you don't have any orphan colors. And that's to say you want your colors to be generally in more than one spot. Unless you're really, really, really trying to draw attention. Alright, so he kinda... Not sure if these gloves are intended to be open finger. Because like there's a little bit of a detail like they are. That could just be that like part of this glove is supposed to be metal. So what I'm gonna do... Well, thank you. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint them like they're open fingers because I want some more red to carry out throughout the model. So since that detail is there, I'm going to use it for what I want it to be. In this case, I want it to be open finger gloves. Which is funny because I usually fucking hate open finger gloves on models because they're a pain in the ass to paint, but I really want that red to carry out somewhere else in the model and not just be on the face. Even though you will only ever see this guy as part of the army where there will be other red, I still want something else in there. All right. Now, because I primed this guy black, he's probably a little hard to see. So we're gonna probably do one of the biggest sections of him next, just to make it a little bit easier to see. That's gonna be his coat. Now this dark green is a color I've used throughout the army. This is one of my like clothing colors. So I'm gonna make his whole uniform this color, or his whole outfit this color. Lovely bunch of coconuts. It should also just help us see some of the detail, because there is a ton of detail in this model. Yeah. The Mantic resin models are just filled with detail. They're really nice. And I haven't had a single misprint or bubble or anything like that yet. I've had a ton of flashing, but that's to be expected. I fully expect some flashing with casted resin models. And like majority of it basically just like blows away if you look at it, so it's not a big deal. Coconuts. But yeah, busy week. Busy week. I keep probably putting my hand in front of the camera. I'm trying not to. Had my first day where I didn't have to run out or do literally anything in like forever yesterday, and it was really nice. It was so freaking nice, man. And today I shouldn't have to do anything else for the rest of the day. I had to run out this morning, but I should be free now, which is pretty dope. Go. So this green over the black is probably going to take a couple of coats just to you know what, I tell you, let's see if we can try this. Let's try this. How's that? Maybe my hand won't get in the way as much then. Sorry for movie camera. I'm just trying to. This guy has like a cowl, and part of me wants the cowl and the hat to be in a different color, but part of me wants it to be green as well. Because like with my Skaven, who have a lot of similar clothes to this guy, I tend to have like a secondary clothes color and then yellow as like the army color. Let me move my hand a little. Also, because that's kind of uncomfortable. But yeah, the second, like the main army color being like a yellow. So lots of times we'll end up doing like hoods and robes different colors, and it gives them a nice bit of breakup. But I'm thinking this guy, I think I might just do the hood and the robe together. I think it might make him look more like a wizard, to be honest. Yeah, the new Warcry box came out today. I was half debating picking it up, but honestly, I will probably never actually get to play it. And I'm not really happy with the increase of cost versus the number of models you get. I'm just not very happy with that, because the box is only a couple of dollars cheaper, because it used to be like $145, and you got a whole set of terrain, 2 teams, and all the books. And now it's $130, and you get 1 piece of terrain, 2 teams, and the books. And then they sell a bunch more terrain that goes with that piece of terrain separately for $100. And I'm just kind of like, man, it's lame. It's like the teams in this box look pretty cool, because they're hello. The teams in this box are one's like a bunch of like human Bretonian dudes, Cities of Sigmar kind of guys. And they have a bunch of dogs, which is really cool. 10 out of 10. I'm always here for doggos. But the and then the other faction is like a bunch of like ogre ghoul kind of guys. And both of those are really cool. Super into both of them. But yeah, I'm just not digging the cost increase for the terrain. Like, because the new terrain set looks nice, but like, man, it really should just be included in the box for another $15. You know? I don't know. Just kind of rough, you know? Kind of rough. So, yeah. Maybe I'll pick it up, but not today. I'm kind of not super happy with that cost breakdown. Also, after doing like a bunch of the World War II minis and like this Mantic stuff, man, it's hard to pay $60 for a team of like 8 guys. Like the models are really nice from GW usually, but man, that cost is rough. You know? Because like I got a whole Veerman army from Mantic, and they're all really nice models. And I got that for $80 at like my local store at Armchair Adventure. Now it's like the only Mantic thing they had, but and it's been there for like ever. But still, I got like a whole army for that. So it's really rough, you know. It'd be like, oh, you get 8 models. Just kind of tough. So yes, this is AK Interactive. No, this is Proacral, not AK Interactive. This is their warm brown. This is a great brown. This is probably my favorite brown. That sounds like a weird statement, but it's true. Because it has just like this nice kind of like mahogany sort of ness to it, which is pretty cool. It's like if you went and bought a leather wallet, like this is the color of the leather wallet, you know? Like the quintessential like dude wallet. That's like what this color is, and I kind of love it. I do not like the Proacral bottles though, man. Those things are a fucking nightmare. I mean, they're better than the GW pots, okay? But that's literally if I put paint inside of a freaking Ziploc bag, it'd be better than a GW pot. Although Army Painter has... Why was I using the big brush for that? I don't know, man. Where'd my little brush go? There it is. Why was I using the big brush for all the little detail work? Army Painter is the best pots. They really do. I am a big fan of the Army Painter pots. During COVID, my parents got me an Army Painter paint set. One, I'm still using paints from that even now, like many years later. But it really made me fall in love with the Army Painter paint pots. And they're very similar to the Vallejo ones, but for me the Vallejo ones actually the lids break all the time, and I don't know why. I think maybe I'm over tightening on them or something, but it's really obnoxious that they break like all the time. If you look at my like paint set, I have a bunch of paints that all have duct tape around the top of the lid, and that's to hold the lid together because it broke. It's also interesting, like, painting these Mantic models after painting a whole lot of GW models. It's kind of like if you went and painted a like one of the Warlord games, or what are they called? Like Reaper Bones minis or something. It's almost like that. Just because like the shapes and stuff are so much different between all the different brands. So like when you paint one mini brand for a while, you kind of like just intrinsically know the shapes and stuff that they tend to use. So when you switch up, you kind of have to relearn all that. So like right now I'm sitting here like trying to figure out how these scrolls work. Not because it's not apparent that they're scrolls, but because I'm just not used to those shapes. And I think that's kind of interesting. when you've been like conditioned on like one mini and you see, you know, you have to interact with the ones from a different company. You know, it's like if all you ever painted in your life was a Space Marine, and then you had to paint, I don't know, something from Malifaux. I think it would like explode your brain. Just because the, you know, the way the details and stuff work is so different, right? Even like I look at the Infinity minis and they're just like, they're too much for me. Like the way the details works and how small it is and stuff, I'm just like, whoa, dude, what the hell is that? Like I'm super overwhelmed by it when I see it. You know, and ostensibly they're great minis, but I'm just not, like, I'm not used to looking at them. You know what I mean? It's definitely the kind of case with 3D printed stuff too, because a lot of 3D printed manufacturers have kind of like, in my opinion, way too much detail, or way too soft of details for how I paint. And it's because I'm kind of used to painting certain ways and seeing certain details and stuff. All right. Little Gabo here is coming along with his Hadouken. All right. Let's see. We need to do his scrolls, so let me grab a color for his scrolls. Bone white. Oh. And I can also use this. I think he has teeth showing. Right? Yeah, he does. I can also use this for his teeth while I'm here. Doo 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 doo. You can also see his tongue there in the bottom. So I'll have to paint that in too. Oh, that's okay, because we're going to have to touch up the red anyway. It's going to be one of our last touch-up steps is the red, because we started with it. Man, I must be sitting weird. My fucking leg's falling asleep. Really bad. But yeah, so next week we will be playing Deadzone on the channel, which will be fun. I have wanted to get into Deadzone forever, and I have reached the point of fuck it, I'm going to play the games I want to play, because it is my YouTube channel and my imaginary friends. So I'm going to play what I want to play, and I've wanted to play Deadzone forever. Like, legitimately, I was looking at the original Kickstarter, like, before I did any miniature stuff, and kind of wanting to get into it, but nobody else did, so I didn't. But you know what? I am an adult, and I deserve an adult glass. That is a reference probably nobody will get unless people really like Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Yeah, so I screwed these scrolls up pretty bad, so we're going to have to clean up around them. But that's okay. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. And we'll probably have to clean up the green anyway. I'm like all beard cam up in here. Yeah, so I'm planning on getting another like a new FDM printer in November. And one of the things I really want to do is I want to do a bunch of dead zone specific terrain. Okay. Let's do his little pouches, his little vials first. You know, we should do them the neon green so he ties in with everybody else. Un momento. There it is. Yep, we're back. All the bases have this like neon green on them, so we really should do his like vials in neon green. So we're doing that with the big robots in there. They're tubes, so we should carry that motif onward. But yeah, really excited to do Dead Zone. Looking forward to it. And it should be a really fun game for 3D printing too. Since it's mini agnostic, really. So I should be able to find lots of cool stuff to 3D print for it. Like the Forge Father team I made, they're all 3D printed, stuff like that. Okay. Since I have this out, I'm going to touch up some of these bases real quick. Since I've got this out. Just going to hit these. Basically, I had too much cork hanging over the edge of the bases, so I had to go back and trim it down. So it left these other colored areas. So since I've got this out, I might as well hit it here with the like acid goo. Alright, so I had to trim them down. I have to fix these guys too. I don't remember. Yeah, I did. Okay. As they all hang over a little bit on the sides, and I'm okay with that. It's just the front and the back they can't overhang because then they have trouble ranking up. So, we'll work on that. Cool. Nice. Okay, now I think this guy has the tiniest bit of metal on him, which I forgot to grab. Like around the base of his, I guess I should do it in this gold, really, huh? Yeah, or the brass. Well, the base has gloves. It's like little bits of metal. And then we have to do his tongue. And then we can do his cleanup after he sits for a couple minutes. Oh, it's pretty exciting almost having these Kings of War armies done. And then I'm going to be able to play it on the channel. And it'll be actually fun to have a army game that actually works on the channel. Because usually army games are just too big with too many minis and stuff for me to keep track of. But because of the multi-basing and the way that I have like multiple guys on one big base, I'm essentially going to have an army, but really functionally only have like a couple actual models, even though it looks like an army. I think that's really cool. I think it'll make it way easier for me to keep track of, because normally there's just too many rules, too many models, too much of all that kind of stuff. Like the couple times I've tried to play like AOS and stuff on the channel, it just has not worked because of that. Yeah, just hit the caps on the bottles there. Okay, now we just got to do his tongue, and then we're going to set him down for a couple minutes. And then we'll pick him back up and do his updates. So he's going to need cleanup on the brown and the green. We will do the brown first because I think it'll probably make a mess. So yeah. He just needs to paint the inside of his mouth real quick. Which is going to be really, really, really hard to see. It's probably impossible to see on the camera. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So that's the base for our little gobbo. I'm just going to set him off to the side. Going to let his paint sort of like cure and chill a little. And we still had some of this brass out. So let's try that on this guy's epaulets. Oh man. Well, I am selling my other house. I know I talked about being super beat from doing, all the move and everything, and to arrange all the work. My husband helped with a lot of the like kind of more rangy kind of stuff, which was very nice. And more of the paperwork kind of stuff, so it was really good. But still pretty beat from it all, So I'm very happy that my house is almost up for sale. Or let me rephrase that, almost sold. So it is up for sale. That's pretty darn cool. Looking forward to just being done with that, It does tax on you and sort of like just kind of go into the back of your mind, So I wanted this. I liked the copper on the brass on the epaulets, and I wanted it somewhere else. So he has this like rod of command. So I figured I would give that some of the same color. Alright, what color do we want his cape to be? I'm thinking like an off-white. Ooh, or maybe a blue. Let's do it in blue. Do you have a nice dark blue? I do. I have a nice dark blue. Alright, this is turquoise abyssal. Ooh. Such blue. Yeah, I fucking love this color. If you really want like a cool color for Night Haunt, this is the color, man. It's just this like evil dark blue. Really nice. I might actually want to like carry this blue out into all of his armor, maybe get rid of the because I was going to give him camouflage armor. Maybe I actually want to make it blue. So this is really nice. It looks really good with the gray. Yeah, that looks super cool. Switch into the smaller brush for the closer in parts. Yeah, see this first lip there, that's actually the collar. That's actually not cape. And I'd be very tempted to paint that cape color, just because like I could see like the cape going all the way up to the back of the neck like that, but it's actually collar from the jacket. I think it's a similar. I think some of the orcs, the other orcs, have that as well. That same like the collar starts at the back of the neck, which is where collars usually are. But what I mean is that like the equipment doesn't actually run to the back of the neck. It's like actually a shirt. But I usually painted it just straight as equipment because I think it looks better on the other orcs. As it's like they have like a flak vest or something on in my brain. I think that's how it looks. Yeah, that blue is really nice on that green. What does he look like if I do blue armor too? Let's see. Screw it. Worst case, I can repaint it green. Alright, let me debate that. We'll go back and do our touch-ups on our other guy. Alright, let's see. We should touch up the brown first. As if I'm going to make mistakes, it's most likely going to be on the brown. I'm going to touch that up first. And then, just like we did in the video for the big Gobbo walkers, the like Gobbo mining bots that are right there, just like I did in that, this guy will be getting a dirty wash from what are they called? The Dirty Down, not Dirty Down. These guys, Streaking Grime. I'll be getting a wash from that. Which I will not get to on this video, because by the time that this guy has like, so words, Josh, Jesus. Basically, I want to give the paint time to cure, so when I hit it with the mineral spirits later, I don't pull it back up. It doesn't happen all the time, but it has happened to me before. So I like to give it just a little while to cure. And that should mean that I don't pull any up anymore, which is good. It should be good. I'm just manhandling the hell out of this guy. You can probably barely see him on stream. Okay. Alright. Then we're going to break out the green. Paw. And go to town with that. Getting into all the tiny little nooks and crannies and stuff. Now the wash will fill a lot of these nooks and crannies in, but I just want to make sure they're painted, you know? I don't want to like bank on the wash doing my job for me, you know? I want to make sure they're painted. Plus I also know my luck, and if I'm like, man, the wash is going to cover this one spot, that'll be the one spot the wash does not want to cover. So I was looking at STLs this morning, and it's like what I like to do when I wake up. And if I'm, getting to lounge around and have breakfast and stuff, like I like to look at STLs. It's very fun. Just looking at STLs, and Dragon Trapper's Lodge has a like multi-year Halloween pack, which is super, super cool. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but in there's a like magnetizable like Frankenstein dragon, where you can like swap its like heads and arms and stuff out with magnets. And I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but I am sure as hell going to print that out because it is really cool. And the minute you're like 1 swappable, 2 Frankenstein, 3 dragon, 4 magnets, I'm like fucking hook, line, and sinker, man. hook, line, and sinker. So I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but I am super into that. It's also a bunch of like pumpkin golems and stuff, which is pretty cool too. And I know you're probably like, oh, Halloween's almost over. Halloween is never over. Halloween is a fucking state of mind. And I am always down for a pumpkin golem. Alright. Well, there's our buddy. Right there. That's going to be our goblin boss. After his washes and stuff. And we made some progress on this guy. I'm not super sure what I want to do. If I want to keep the green armor, if I want to switch it to blue. I'm not sure. I could do camouflage like on these guys. Yeah, just not sure. Not sure. So I think we'll hold off on him. And I think we will actually go ahead and call it for painting our Gobbo boss today. There he is. Whoa, getting ready for washes. So I think I will probably go ahead and call it there. So I have been going for an hour already. Yeah. And I have become the sleep. But our Gobbo boss there, he'll get washes and he'll wind up like our friends here. So they'll end up being buddies and looking the same. And then he'll go on his cinematic base. But I'm going to go ahead and call it there because I'm running out of steam really quick. And I'm going to go chill and play some video game. But thank you guys for watching. I will be back next week. We will be playing Deadzone of Marauders versus Forge Fathers. Dun, dun, dun. So we do Marauders versus Forge Fathers in our first Deadzone game of the channel. It should be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. And then eventually we will play Kings of War when I have enough Kings of War stuff painted to play Kings of War. But for now I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you guys for watching. And